Between 250 BCE and 200 BCE, a man echoed after deep thoughts. There is time for everything under the sun. It was this echo born out of deep thoughts that midwifed the entirety of the book of Ecclesiastes 3. With understanding of these deep philosophical notes, one will not labor his mind worrying over life and its developments. Like the above statement of 250 BCE, so are human events. Man, by natural configuration and design, is bound to be conquered by three strong factors, which are sickness, age, and death. No matter our prowess and defined strength, we are clearly subjected to these very tripod energies that thoroughly handle us as powerless entities. In every activities under the sun, it must be shaken by these three messengers of the Creator that are often brutal to mankind. Any human activity that doesn't accept this very factor nor fathom a place for it is a hoax. Beyond these three angels is another angel called time. Time changes and interprets everything, no matter how ab initio unclear it is. Give it time, and it will surely be clearer. In every freedom movement I have studied, time has been the first thing they people must conquer if actually they are serious with their aspirations. Any freedom movement that is time-specified is a fraud and is bound to collapse on the way. When a people moved away from the philosophy of "until our oppressors give up, we will not give up" to "our freedom is coming in November 8" and other dating methodologies, it turns out to be a mental docility that will only put the fighters into avoidable self-delusions. When people understand this, then they will move away from building a rickety and non-time-lasting structures to formidable ones, which last as much as the oppressors would let go. That is called institution. While date-centered struggles, which of course is feeble centers on entities exposed to sickness, age, or death, timeless struggle which stands as much as the oppressors remains, anchors on institutions transferable to generations. We can learn that from the Palestinians whose agitation started as far back as 1936, to which who is standing for Palestinian self-determination now, was born in 1936. This is over 80 wal-ars and still counting. They were able a generational agitation for self-determination, because they built an institution which every born Palestinian sees as needed loyalty to the institution, not individuals. To that very end, they have institutionalized Palestine, not Palestinians. What about the Kurdish? The first notable Kurdish uprising was led by Sheikh Ubaydullah in 1880 against Ottoman and Persian authorities seeking greater autonomy. Far back earlier than the Palestinians and today, the Kurds are fighting on because they built institutions outside Sheikh Ubaydullah. That is not that the leader was not important, but they understood that sickness, age, and death might get the leader away, but the institutions they have built for themselves can't be at the mercies of these unavoidable limitations of mankind. For the Western Sahara Arabs, who are closer to us, in 1957-58, early resistance emerged during the Ifni War, when Sahrawi fighters joined Morocco's Army of Liberation to challenge Spanish and French control in the region, marking the first organized Sahrawi involvement in armed agitation against colonial powers. Those who started the resistance might have all passed away, but the resistance is still ongoing because they built institutions. For us in the Biafra struggle, from ab initio, we have built and revolved the struggle on individuals. From Great Ikemba to Uwazurike, down to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When these individuals faced sickness, age, or death, or even circumstances that they change grounds, we start from scratch, because we rejected knowledge and reality of life. Ojukwu went for exile and changed mind to accept Nigerian state amnesty, which paved way to join the Nigerian politics. Everything about Biafra died with his dream. Similar fate confronted Uwazurika, and while he retired to his new Owerri mansion, everything died with him. You can't rule out MNK being pressured to adjust, and the Mother Project face same fate. On the contract, MNK tried to establish institutions, DOS, and affirmed the importance of keeping the institutions. Unfortunately, he is facing a severe situation that his actions are unmatchable currently with his words. He seems to be disposed at destroying the very institution he affirmed. I honestly understand that, like others I mentioned earlier, he is at a situation that you can predict anyone to think quitting. Even Jesus suggested the cup passed him by, at the peak of his own trial. As humans, I don't blame them if eventually they get defeated and go mission abortion, but I blamed those of their followers who refused to acknowledge that they are mortals who can face the worst and call it a quit. If MNK is defeated, and the leadership also allowed herself to be defeated out of shared idiocy that the fate of the survival or death of this struggle is on MNK, they, and not MNK, will be blamed. Yes, I said it that way, because MNK is exposed to mind manipulations and highly state-filtered information which lead him into terrible decisions. Expecting a man in such tailored environment to bend in tone is unfair. The government refusal to transfer him to prison where he might have access to objective views is for a purpose. Government doesn't venture into futile course. The DSS, just like NIA, are specialists at mind manipulation with available resources at their disposal, including human agents. So expecting these agencies to have a zero program on MNK is not just stupidity, but self-destruction. If we build institutions, we are bound to make ideal friends. Allies support and invest in institutions, not on individuals, because of fragility of human nature. Nigeria till date is supporting Palestinians and Western Sahara Arabs' self-determination because they saw institutions. Why has Nigeria not advised Palestinians and Western Sahara Arabs to shun their quest and move on, after it is too long a time to keep agitating? Because even Nigeria knows that institutional constituency is mission achievable and investment ideal. The very day we appreciate history and learn from others is the day we are counted serious. We must rally around MNK this critical times, as it is very important for his safety. Most important is that we should never peg whatever the action of the government will be as a determinant factor to the struggle. Written by Chika Austin.